I want to make a castle and I need to cover the walls with stone blocks, but I don't want to do all the work. Luckily, in Shapelab, we can use the Mystical Alpha Mask to get the job done faster and cleaner with a fraction of the effort. And today I'm going to show you in detail how it all works and how you can become an Alpha Mask master, designing and implementing your own rubber stamps all over your 3D models. I guarantee if you take the time to learn how to do your own Alpha Masks, your experience in 3D modeling is going to be much more enjoyable. And you're going to be able to create things that look much more interesting, so it's more than worth your time to sit down and learn this. Let's start by taking a look at the Reptile Alpha Mask, which is included in Shapelab Max. You can see some very dark gray areas, which are the lowest features, and the lightest grays are the highest features, like I mentioned earlier in the video. Notice it has a really good gradient effect, and that makes it nice and smoothed over. And look at how the edges seem to just fade away into the background. More on that later. Here I've plopped my reference photo as the first image layer. If it's your first time seeing an image editor program, don't worry, it looks complicated, but it's not. The tools like drawing, cutting out, and adding text are all on the left side. The special effects like shape outlines, blurring, vignette, and color adjustments, those are all in the top menus here. On the right side, I click this Add button to add a new, clear, empty layer on top of my reference image. I can move these around though. So we're gonna trace the basic features of the cinder blocks, which we can think of as simple lines and squares. Let's use the Shape tool on the left and select the rectangle option. Make sure you choose dark gray. Remember, the darkest gray color will be the lowest, so the grout lines between the blocks will be the darkest. If you hold the Shift key, you can keep the line straight and simply drag it to length all the way across. Now hit Ctrl D and click on that line to duplicate it. Let go, and now hold the Shift key and click on it and drag that new line down into position. Do this however many times you need. Now do the same thing for the vertical grout lines. If we hide our reference image layer, we can see our beautiful artwork. Make sure they all overlap so there are no gaps. You might need to zoom in and inspect every little bit of it. If it looks good enough, right-click on the top layer and select Merge All Visible Layers. Now we have one nice, clean layer for all that work. If you touch grout lines on a wall, you will notice they have rounded, smooth surfaces that ramp up to the tiles or bricks instead of clean, sharp edges. We can create the sloping effect by adding another series of rectangles using a lighter shade of gray underneath that first layer. When they're all in place, hide the other layers and merge all the visible layers like before into a brand new single layer. Make sure to keep this new layer underneath the first darker line layer. The next layer is really easy. Make a new rectangle that spans across the entire image. Make sure to put this shape layer at the bottom of the other two layers you just made. All of your squares should look like they're filled in now. Notice I reduced the size of my layers so that I could see where the edges on the sides were and gave me a little bit more room to work with, and made sure that the tops and bottoms have the same grout line borders, just like the inside of the blocks. All right, now we're ready for the last layer. Change the rectangle shape to the rectangle with rounded edges. Change the gray color to an even lighter gray color than the previous layers. It could even be white. Now place those new rectangles inside of each of the other rectangles that you made before. Make sure to give them a little space on their margins, so it looks kind of like this. We want to be able to use this alpha mask like a stamp so that we can make a seamless wall of blocks. So we need to turn this work of art into a puzzle piece that can fit inside itself over and over again, up, down, left, or right. We can do this by removing the blocks on the sides in the middle here using the rectangle select tool on the left, expanding your selection over the brick and hitting the delete button as we click through each individual layer one at a time. Click, delete, click, delete. Now it should look something like this. What happens if we don't do this? Our experience is going to go something like this.
All right, time to build this wall.
That looks like shit.
Turning it into a puzzle piece is going to solve this problem. Now we need to blend each layer so there's a smooth transition in between the shades of gray, just like we saw with the included Reptile Alpha Mask in the beginning of the video. If we don't blend it together, we're going to get some very sharp edges in our Alpha Mask, and it's going to produce the worst results possible. This is how we blend it together. Here in Pixlr, I select one of the layers and go to the Filter tab at the top and then I select Details and click on the Blur tool. If you're using a different program, just find your Blur tool. Adjust each layer until they blend nicely. Now you can merge all the layers together once you like what you see. Remember when I told you in the beginning that there was a secret step at the end that you absolutely must do to make this thing really pop? This is the last touch that will make a world of difference in the quality of your custom alpha mask. Here I have an alpha mask made using all the steps I just showed you, but watch what happens when I try to use it. See those lines? Ugh. Yeah. We don't want anything to raise up, and we don't want super straight edges. And we can't just add a black border outline to the whole thing. It'll still leave a raised outline. Luckily in Shapelab, there's a hint. In the Alpha Mask menu, you can see two different squares. This first one has clean edges, but look at the effect it produces. You can see the problems you might run into. Notice the second one has more of a gradient, where it fades away at the top and bottom. Take a look at the effect it produces. It's a very nice sloped curve to it, allowing for a very perfect transition if you were going to do a bunch of these into a pattern. We can perfect our own alpha mask using the same technique. The secret here is to use the erase tool with a high amount of softness and smoothly fade away the outer edges of our alpha mask. Actually, a faster and easier way would be to just blur only the outline of your alpha mask, but I couldn't find that option in Pixlr. Insert just one more final layer underneath everything that you've done so far. Use the paint bucket tool and select the color black. Paint the entire slide, so the background is completely black. Make sure there are no artifacts or smudges left over from all the work that you've done so far. If there is, you need to select that layer and erase any leftovers, leaving you with nothing but the pattern and a clean black background. Looking at the pre-made alpha masks in Shapelab's folders, we can see they have very square dimensions. The canvas resolution and sizes range anywhere from 128 by 128 to 1024 by 1024. Fairly low resolution. You don't need to do anything super high res. You don't necessarily have to make it those exact dimensions, but it's something to keep in mind for your future alpha masks. Once that is done, export it as a PNG file. I like to add mine to my Google Drive using my PC. Then go into my browser in my headset and access my Google Drive in there and download that alpha mask PNG file. Then in Shapelab, you simply open up the poly mode and go to any of the tools like the move tool that lets you use alpha masks and select the add image button and find that file in the downloads folder. Once added, it's available in every tool that can do alpha masks in Shapelab. If connecting to the PC for the standalone transfer, you need to immediately allow USB access when you connect it, which Meta has redacted the pop-up here. So if you miss it, unplug and try again with the headset on. Then you find the headset connected to your computer. Most people, they're going to see MTP USB. It's basically an Android device like a phone, so you navigate through it to the Android folder, and then the data folder, and then the Shapelab Max folder, which at the time of this video is labeled com.leopoly.shapelab.max.relaunch. Click on that. Click on the Files folder, click on the Shapelab folder, and there you see the familiar Patterns folder where you will be moving your alpha mask PNG file to. Done. Now it's obvious why I prefer to do this over my Google Drive instead. On PC, it's really easy. You just go to the installation folder for Shapelab, and then you find the Streaming Assets folder, open up the Patterns folder, and then you just drag and drop your alpha mask into the Patterns folder. You don't even need to have your headset connected. See how easy it is to move into place with the interlocking puzzle approach? You don't even have to do this with every alpha mask you make, but for this purpose, it's going to come in handy over and over again, I guarantee it. Now you're ready to make a simple cartoon-style castle very quickly and easily, and I'm going to show you how to make the arch for the entrance as well, coming up in the next video. In the meantime, make your alpha mask and brush up on your skills with my How to Make Mario's Big Head tutorial and the Kirby model tutorial. I also have some VR painting videos here on my channel, so go check them out. You might like that. See you in the next video.